Welcome to this online series of lectures on operations research. So in this lecture, part 2 of project management, we are going to introduce the technique called critical path method. So initially, we will start with the introduction to the critical path method. Then we will look into the guidelines. How do you prepare the network diagram, which is based on critical path. Then we will solve some examples based on critical path method. And then we will also look into the advantages and disadvantages of critical path method. So as discussed previously, this is one of the technique. Critical path method is one of the technique of project management, and we primarily focus on two things. First is the deadline, and second one is the budget. Right? These two are the key ideas where this project management, specifically this technique, revolves around. Right? And the critical path where these activities are, it is the longest path on this project. Whatever the activities which are taking the longest sequence of longest time for the completion, those activities are the critical activities, and the path which comprises of all these activities are is the critical path. Now, how do you find out? This is the technique from which you can find out the critical path. Again, and why are you finding out this kind of path? Because even small delay in these activities will cause major delay in the project completion. Unless and if you are delaying the project, it is going to affect the budget as well. You will definitely go over budget if you are going if you are going out of this executed time, whatever the time which has been given. If you are going over this time, it is definitely going to over budget, right? That is why project, it is the duty of the project manager to divert these kind of resources where you have to effectively utilize this resources within the project, right? And these activities, if you are controlling these activities, it will ensure that you complete the project within time. 6 common steps are there if you are following this PERT and CPM technique. First and foremost is you define the project by defining all the activities which are related to this project. Second is, once you have defined the activities, you will try to find out the relationship between the activities so that you can logically and sequentially arrange these activities for the network diagram. Once you have defined the activities and the relationship, you will draw the network based on these activities. Right? You will also assign the times, estimates in case of PERT and precise time in case of critical path method, and compute the longest time. We will look into an example so that you can easily understand these steps. And finally, with the help of this network, or you can say critical path, the manager can easily and effectively utilize the resources where the critical activities which are taking more time to complete. Right? There are some guidelines, some rules, specifically known as Fulkerson rule, to be followed to draw the activity diagram. So first and foremost is that no single activity can be represented more than once. Means that if you have indicated first activity right as A, you cannot in the other part of the diagram you can indicate other activities as A. It is used just one time. If you are starting the event with one number, you have to go up to in the ascending order 1, 2, 2, 3, 4 likewise from left to right without repeating the number, right? With a sequence. Then there should be no duplication of the event numbers. Just like the activities, you cannot use the same event number anywhere else in the diagram. Next is you cannot use dummies more than frequently be used. The dummies are used just to show the connection or interdependence between the activities without using any network resources or project resources. But you cannot overuse these dummy activities. And again, for the project, there should be only one starting point or an event and one ending point. That is the ending event. Now here it is shown graphically here or pictorially from A to C. is the sequence here of an activities are, means that B will start once the A is finished, activity A is finished, and C will only start when B is finished. Likewise, right? Here B and C activity will only start when A activity is finished. In the same way, here in C diagram, C activity will only start when A and B activities are finished. In the same way, here C will activity will only start when A is finished, and here if you see the dummy connection is there shown here. So C will only start when A and B are finished. But in case of D, D will start only when the B is finished. So again, if I give you an example of reading a book, when the start is an event and the activity of opening a book is an activity, right? And these events are shown in the circle. When you are reading the chapter, that process is the activity, and ending the chapter is an event. If you see, two routes are given here for the network diagram. The top route is comprising of 13 units of time. The bottom one is comprising of 11 units. So the one which is taking maximum time is the critical path. So here the top one is the critical path. Let me give an example with the help of which we can easily draw the network diagram. Here the activities are given and predecessor activities are given. Means the activity and the activities which are just before the activity. It means that A and B can start, they are the starting points. C and D will only start when A is finished. So A and B are the starting activities from event 1, right? C and D will start when A is finished. So C and D will start when A is finished. In the same way, E will start when B is finished. E will start when B is finished here. And F will start when C is finished. Here F is there, F. And G will start when D and E is finished. Now these two will merge on the finishing event. We talk about another example. Here the activities and predecessor activities are given. A will start on its own, right? B and C will start when A is finished. D will start when B is finished. E will start when C is finished, and F will start when D and E are finished. So in this way, we can easily solve the problems with the help of network diagram. Here the activity is given, redesigning a product. Brief description of the activities are given and their predecessor and the duration is also given, right? So first of all, we will write down the duration and predecessor and the activities as well. So based on this, we will draw the network diagram. So A and B have no predecessor, so we will draw A and B predecessor. So based on the diagram, if you see activities, predecessor and duration, we can easily solve the problem. So A and B has no predecessor. So A and B have no predecessor, they are starting activities. C has A as a predecessor. D has B. So D will start when B is finished. E will start when C is finished. So E will start when C is finished. F will start when D is finished. G will start when E and F will finish. H will start when G is finished. I and J will start when H is finished. And K will start when I and J will finish. So here to show the interdependence, we have introduced the dummy variable, or you can say dummy activity. So in this way, we can easily use the dummy in the network diagram to show the interdependence, and we can, with the help of this network diagram and the activities, we can find out the critical path. We will see the procedure in the forthcoming lecture. Now let's look into the advantages of critical path method. First and the foremost is that the management can divert the resources from non-critical to critical. As we have already found out the critical path which is contributing to the project completion, the management can divert these resources. It means that they can easily utilize the resources for the effective utilization as well as the performance of the project, right? Also, it will evaluate the progress. So whatever the deadline is given, if the project activities are completing on time or not. Are the resources sitting idle without doing anything, or they are effectively utilized for the completion, thereby their activity time as well as for the project completion time. And by the by, it will help the managers to schedule, monitor or control these projects. It also determines the project duration so that they can minimize the cost. Now, two costs, direct and indirect costs, are involved in project. So whenever you are, these resources are being used, so that we can tap on the control, you can control this cost which are directly or indirectly being used for the project. And dependencies you can show with the help, because see, these activities are interdependent and sequence is also been followed, so we can show this interdependence with the help of this network diagram. Parallel activities also we can easily utilize, or you can evaluate with the help of CPM, critical path method. These float times, or you can the time which can be used, so that we can delay any activity without affecting the start time of any other preceding activity, succeeding activities. We can definitely find out these floats. We will see an example to how to calculate the float times, and definitely it is used in widely in specifically in construction companies, where you will find multiple critical paths to find out as well as to control the project duration as well as the budget. The limitations, if we talk about that, the assumptions we have first of all is that we know the time beforehand, precise time beforehand. It is not the case always. There are some fluctuations, because the market is dynamic. If you talk about, right, the environment where this project is, it is dynamic. So with the precise time, it is very difficult. Then we have as a controlling, cannot be used as a controlling device. It means that you just use it as a project management tool, right? It will change the entire structure of network. If any change is done, it is going to change the whole structure of the project. So dynamically it is useless, right? You have to have the precise time. Also the complexity, as the activities increases, the complexity also increases. Scheduling of the personnel is difficult with the help of critical path method. Next is, critical path is not always clear and can be calculated carefully. Yes, there are software available right now, so for manual calculations is being taken over by the with the help of computerized, you can say, computations is available to solve this critical path method, so that error is minimized. Again, estimating activity completion time can be difficult. Here we are showing the time as precise, the activity times as precise, which is very difficult because estimation is available, you cannot have the precise time. So these are some of the limitations of critical path method. So in this way we have introduced this method, critical path method, starting with the procedure, the steps involved, with the terms, and the how to solve the examples of critical path, specifically the network diagram. We saw the examples based on the network diagram, and we also looked into the advantages and limitations of the critical path method. In next lecture we are going to solve the critical path method examples with the float calculation. Till then, thank you.